Welcome to Love and Money with Barbara Treadwell, where we explore the deep connection between our money and the people we love. This is Barbara Treadwell with Love and Money, and today we have a fabulous guest. Her name is Mimi Winkler. She shows, breeds, and judges for 38 years and counting Bichon Frise all over the world. She's loves every single minute of it. She's so busy. I had a hard time catching her. So thank you so much for being available today.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm always fascinated as a financial advisor as to what people do for work or pleasure, but basically for work. So how in the world did you get into this whole arena to begin with?
It's quite interesting. I was judging a gymnastic meet, believe it or not, in Germany. And I saw a woman walking these little white dogs, and in my broken German, I said, "Was ist das?" And she told me they're Bichons. And I said, "Oh, they're really cute." So when I came back to the United States, I went to a dog show, and I looked at the program and saw when Bichons were going to be shown. So I went over to the ring. I knew nothing about dog shows, and I said, "That's a cute dog. Let's find out who bred that one." So I got in touch with that person, walked over, introduced myself. And she said, "I have a litter." And I said, "Really?" And I took my two daughters and we went there and I picked out this little bitch. Now we do call female dogs bitches, and at the dog shows, when they are called in class by class, it is 6 to 9 puppy dogs, 6 to 9 puppy bitches. So I had to explain that to my grandchildren.
Thank you.
So when they came to the dog show, they didn't drop their drawers.
Yeah.
So the woman, the breeder, Doris Hyde, said to me, "You picked out the best one in the litter. Would you think about competing and showing?" And being a competitive person and having 4 kids who were in sports, I said, "Absolutely." And she got me hooked, and that's how I started. And now 103 champions later, I am loving every minute of it.
Your personal champions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it. We had a party that said 100 champions, and I'm one of only 8 Bichon breeders in the entire world that has that many champions.
That's
really an accomplishment. I'm really proud
remarkable.
Of myself. Yeah, but you don't do it alone. You have a lot of people that help.
Well, who helps you? Like, who are those people?
Well, you sell dogs to people who want to show, so that adds to your breeding program and to your number of champions. You have wonderful handlers that help you show dogs. The dog community is really a very close-knit, warm community. And I mean, can it be tough? Just like any other walk in life, I guess.
Well, what are the challenges? Yeah, so say you.
What are the challenges? Meeting the standard, trying to get the best dog you can possibly get. Being accepted by your fellow breeders without getting a knife in your back. It's just like any other walk of life. I think that we all have to rise to the occasion. Yeah, good.
When you say knife in the back, so obviously it's competitive. Does it get down and dirty?
Yeah. And can people talk down your dogs? Absolutely.
Oh.
And, I brought my children up with this one adage: be the best you can be by standing on your own 2 feet without stepping on anyone else's toes. And by that, wonderful. I meant you don't have to put anybody else down to make you better. You have to stand there and make yourself better. And that's what I've tried to achieve. That has always been my goal. And look what it's led to. This is my daughter's gymnastics school.
It's wonderful. It's
Am
wonderful.
I proud? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something very funny before we get back to the subject. When you said to me, in a past life, I was a judge in Germany, and well, I'm Hindu, and past lives are very much part of what we believe. And I thought you really meant that, like in a former life.
I read that to Jamie, and Jamie said, "Mom, I bet she thinks you really meant past life."
I did.
But I do believe I've had past lives. I really do believe.
I understand. Yeah. But Mimi, I then contacted my Indian friend and I said, now, which deity, because my house is like a temple. I have at least 15 deities in my house. I said, which deity is in charge of judging? Because I want to tell Mimi that she can talk to them.
Wait a minute. When you got in touch with your friend, did he say or did she say that I did have a past life? Because I do believe in that.
I didn't ask that. I said, who could she pray to as a deity for good luck in her judging? Because I have deities for one thing or another. I mean, some is like Ganesha removes obstacles. Lakshmi is for wealth and abundance. I mean, each one has their specialty. So I wanted to find a deity for you that you could pay homage to, and it's Lord Vishnu, in case you want to know. I'll write it out for you.
I love
Yes.
that. Because
Yep.
I do believe in all that.
Good.
It's
That's
so
good.
interesting
So do
that
I.
you say that because I went to this reading. Well, it wasn't reading, it was actually an audience. And her name was Rachel Page, and she wrote a book, Dog Steps. And she also talks about how dogs can read people and understand them without verbiage. I mean, you know how they can understand it. And she said, and there's one person in the audience that absolutely is tuned with her dogs. And she pointed to me.
Oh,
She
my.
said, stand up. So I did. And she said, your dogs understand everything you're telling them. And I said, really? Then how come they don't understand when I tell them to make outside?
Because they don't want to. They understand.
And
they
said,
choose
yeah.
not to.
She said they choose not to because they know you're not going to do anything. I said, and you're absolutely right. But yeah, I find that fascinating. I do.
Well, in this same course of the conversation, I did a podcast a couple of days ago with a woman who has a dog who's very spiritual. He prays, he does his rituals. You can see him bowing his head and he meditates. He has gifts of healing. She shows a picture of him with her dad through his stroke and hospice, and he eventually passed, but they allowed that dog into ICU, Mimi. And, you know, dogs are not allowed in ICU because he helped the nurses with their own grief work and their own stress. And his name is Rudy. He's a Yorkshire Terrier, and he's 13. So now he's an aging dog, and that has its own set of problems. But the other experience I had is with very dear friends of mine who had a Shih Tzu. He was 18, and they'd had him for 17 years. And a friend of theirs gifted them a session with an animal intuit. And this sounds like your lady that pointed you out. By the way, did she know who you were?
No.
Or did she just? No.
She
that's
just- no,
remarkable.
no.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
So I've known this family for 35 years. They're my best friends. So I knew, and so their dog, this woman had to take the dog's language, whatever it is, translate it into English, just like a foreign translator, and tell the family the dog's memories of his experience with them for 17 years. And he brought up situations like how he injected himself when there was a lot of grief work to be done, and how he acted silly when levity was needed. And I knew everything he was talking about. Nobody could have made that up. It was remarkable.
They are,
and so
they are amazing.
It was remarkable. And so I was telling I do proprioception therapy, and I was telling her about it. And she said, oh, I have a woman who communicates with my horse for me. Same thing. And she does proprioception on people 10 months out of the year. And for 2 months, where she is right now, she goes to a horse farm and she does her therapy on horses. And the horse intuit tells her what they need or don't need. It's just, so you see, it's not far off. I mean, the woman that knew who you were knew who you were.
Yeah. I have 4 dogs now. I have one that's 16, one that's 12, one that's 6, and one that's 2. They have such diverse personalities. And the 16-year-old is the great, so I have 3 generations of girls. And then the one male that I have is the uncle. The 16-year-old rules the entire house. She tells them what to do. She tells me what to do. She says, you can put them in cages in their pens when you go out. I will sit on the back of the couch and protect the house. And there's nothing you can do about it because I will find a way to get out of that crate. Now, I never lock my dogs in. but she makes sure that the other three are in crates, and she makes sure that she's on the back of that couch when I leave, so that when she sees me pull out, I swear if she could, she'd wave to me. And she would
Oh,
say, have a
oh,
good day, have a
yeah,
great time. But if
yeah.
I don't feel good, or if like I'm depressed, they all join together and they sit on the couch with me. And there's nothing better. I said to one of my friends, I'm getting up there in age. What do people do when they wake up in the morning and they have nothing to look forward to? That they have no chore that needs to be done. I know when I wake up, I have to let the dogs out. I have to clean the dogs. I have to feed the dogs. I have to love the dogs. That gives me something to do every day, and everybody should have that pleasure.
It's called purpose.
Yeah.
And if your life has purpose, you're a happy person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it never ends. If
No.
anything, it gets more important as you get older.
I mean, who knew that this dog show would lead me to judge in Japan and China and Vietnam and travel all over and become an AKC delegate and be the judge's education coordinator for the United States for the Bichon Frise? Who knew that this would take me to
Mimi.
that?
Mimi, that's
I mean,
remarkable.
it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful.
And so it's a world community.
Yeah.
I mean, you all know each other. Do you speak any languages other than English?
A little gutter. No, I speak a little bit of French, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Very, very, very little.
Yeah.
Very little.
I'm not
But
linguistic at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that common love of dog kind of just gets us all through. We kind of all understand what we're saying. And when I judge a dog in a different country, I'm still judging it against the standard. So it's not like when people say, how do they pick the best dog for best in show? We're not comparing the dogs. We're comparing each dog against the standard that's written. And that's what we do. So that's a universal language.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And the dogs have no language. I mean, I'm sure they understand kindness and meanness and, regardless of what the words are that go along with it. So you have 4 now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What
I have 4 in my house.
Yes.
I co-own with other people. I have a couple of dogs out with people that I co-own, and these younger people will be my legacy. And they in turn have champions that I bred. And now my name is on their dogs. So when they have litters, I will still have litters.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Do you share economically? Is there any compensation for that lineage? For lack of a better word. I don't know what to call it.
Listen, I think I should be a better business person, but do we profit by it? I would say the ones that breed the dogs initially are the ones that make a little bit of profit. I have a dog now who is a beautiful dog that's out of one of my top winning dogs. And people saw one of his progeny at a Bichon National. That's where everybody comes together internationally. A lot of international dogs there. And they saw what he produces. So now people are calling me to use him for stud. And I'm very selective on who I allow to use it. But that's a way to make money. Having a litter, I've never had a litter, and I know this sounds ridiculous. I've never had a litter just to make money. I've only ever had litters because I wanted a new dog or a new champion. Or I needed that fix. It's expensive. It's expensive having a litter.
Let's talk about that a little bit. I'm the only financial planner on the planet that I know of that has pets as a line item in the cash flow worksheet, because families who have dogs spend a lot of money on them. And especially if they become an aging dog, then the cost escalates. So what are the economics of what you're doing? So breeding is probably more profitable, you say, than winning a show.
Should I mention how much I charge for dogs, or how much?
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
I would say the average cost for a Bichon is $4,000. Is that astronomical? No, not compared.
No.
to some breeds. Um, that's what I charge. Now, what other people charge, is really their business. And my contract says my contract is if you have a show dog, the dog must be tested, must get their health testing, must be finished their championship, and all that must be done before they can breed or they can use those dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
I never ask for a puppy back like some people do. I never get into that.
What does that mean?
Okay, I knew that I was going to open up a. Some people say, okay, you're buying a bitch from me, and you're going to finish her, and she's going to have a litter. I want, in addition to your buying the bitch from me, I want one puppy of my choosing from that litter.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I want to get into this. To me, that's a pyramid system, and I never did that.
But I did have a question in my mind.
Go ahead.
Well, I wondered if you knew at birth who was going to be a champion or not.
Not at birth. After all these years, I can hold them up like this and say, this one's going to be nice. Just by the way I can hold them. And this is at birth. I'll send you some pictures of puppies.
I love that.
And you can tell whether they're going to have neck. You can tell whether they're going to have leg. You can tell the length of the back just by that. And then I write notes. So I color code them. So it would be pink, blue, whatever.
Yes.
And I write little notes. Green has leg, green has length of back. I like the breadth of skull on pink. And then I like to compare them 3 weeks later, and then 6 weeks later, and then 12 weeks later before I sell them to see if what I'm saying holds true. What was my evaluation proper?
Okay, so it's a process.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. Do I evaluate my other litters, or do people call me up to evaluate their litters all the time?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I do it via just what we're doing now. And sometimes I go to their houses and visit.
Right.
And it's interesting to see the lineage and to know that the grandfather of that litter is my dog and what my genes have passed down. And so it's quite interesting.
What are the names of your dogs?
Oh my goodness. Right now, you want their registered names?
Yes, I'd like to know what their names are.
My kennel name is Judge's Choice. And that's an interesting story. When I was judging in Germany, I was head judge on floor. And I told you I saw these white dogs. And I had a judge on my panel from Russia. And she said to me, ugly dogs. And I said, no, they're really pretty. And she said, well, you're head judge, so it's Judge's Choice. And that's how I got my name.
Right.
And so I have Judge's Choice, You Go Girl. Right now I have Judge's Choice, Destiny's Child. I have Judge's Choice, High Hopes. I have Judge's Choice, Good Golly, who of course is Miss Molly. And then Oliver is Judge's Choice, A New Twist.
So will they
all have champions
project
their name.
Does Judge's Choice follow through the generations of the dogs?
Yeah, because everybody that I co-own dogs with, whether they have their own kennel name, which of course they rightly deserve to put first now, Judge's Choice is in the name.
Uh-huh.
So the new ones that are out now, with this girl from California, her kennel name is Lore, Lore. So it's Lore and Judge's Choice and Simply the Best. And that was after Kamala Harris. And then we have another one, Gavin. So we kept two, Kamala and Gavin.
You should write to her. She'll get a kick out of it now. Now she might get a kick out of it. Enough time has passed. Oh.
Yeah.
That's well, what's the life expectancy?
My dogs live until they're about 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. That was like my friend's dog. But it was old for him.
And sometimes they just look at you and it never gets easier. And I have my vet, Charlie, who, oh, I'll start to cry. So stop. Okay, let's change the subject. It never gets easier. Never.
No,
They look at you
no.
and they say it's time. It's time. I had one dog, Reno, who had ROMX after his name because he was the champion, the sire of 29 champions. And I came home one day, it just looked at me and said, Mom, it's time. It's time. And I called up and drove up there and then realized I have to drive all the way back from Connecticut on my own. I pulled over 3 times. Yeah, it never gets easier.
No.
Yeah, they do.
I have another friend who adopts basset hounds, and they're older when she gets them. And I've been living in Savannah now for 27 years, so I've seen a lot of the basset hounds come in, and I've seen a lot of them go. And she always has 2, and the survivor of the 2 picks out the next one. She absolutely leaves it up to whatever dog is left. But it's a cycle of happiness and sadness. It's very difficult. I think it's hard, to watch them go.
Good. I'm sorry.
I attended the funeral of the Shih Tzu that I was telling you about with the animal into it, and in my first career, I'm a therapist counseling terminally ill patients and their families, and I did that for 15 years. I have never seen grief, Mimi, like that family of 5 with that dog. It took me days to get over it, and it's something I did for a living.
I'm going to cry now just thinking about it.
Yes. Well, it was just very, very hard. So I wish that
can
some
I tell you one
cultures.
more thing about dogs?
Please.
Innately, if they don't like somebody or if they're cold to somebody, I know never to sell a dog to them. Dogs will let you know. They'll let
I
you know.
absolutely believe that.
Yeah, who are good people and who aren't.
I absolutely believe that. I know that. Horses too.
I'm sorry. I had a family that drove up in a chauffeured car, and I've sold to a lot of celebrities in a chauffeured car, and I knew who this person was. And he got down on the floor and played with the puppies, and I said, "Oh, this is a nice." And his wife was standing like on the side, very, very quiet, very removed. And one of the little boys said to him, "Oh, Daddy, maybe you'll like this dog and you won't kick him and kill him like you did the last one." Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine that?
No.
As they were leaving, this is just between us now. And just as they were leaving, I said to the wife, "You can call me anytime."
Yes. Now you know why she was removed.
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought he was friendly and she didn't want the dog. I thought that was the way it was going to go. No.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And celebrities, I mean, Diana Ross on the floor playing with everybody. I've had so many ball players that people thought that I was the cheerleader for the Yankees. I would say 5 of them had my dogs at the same time. And it was.
It's also funny to imagine, a big masculine ball player with a little white Bichon Frise. I mean, that's also a funny combination.
One of the sweetest was, and I get, who was the guy on The Sopranos? Oh God, what was his?
I know exactly who you're talking about. That won't come to me either. I'm having that problem word finding with names.
The sweetest, nicest guy. Played with the puppies forever.
I believe it.
Just the nicest guy. Oh yes,
I believe it. But he even had a very sweet. There was a side of him that was shown to be very sweet on the show
what was his
too.
name?
I know exactly who you mean. Gandolfo.
Okay. Yeah, Gandolfino.
That's not quite right. Yes, that's it.
Gandolfino, something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
What a nice guy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. And what a wonderful actor too.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the future? Do you think there's going to be something new and different, or will it be the same old thing, or what's going to happen to this?
The Bichons are declining because this generation doesn't want to put in the work of grooming, and it takes a lot. We are a breed of illusion. You have a good groomer, you could make a dog look really good. They want to wash and wear. They want the French bulldogs. They want the min pins. They want something that they don't have to bother grooming, taking to a groomer all the time because it's expensive. It's expensive.
Yes.
And it's a shame because the Bichon is such a wonderful breed. It really is. And I had Old English before. And I said to my husband, I'm not
Wow,
getting
what a difference.
I'm not getting any more coated breeds. And then I came home with a Bichon and he said, and what do you call this? I said, well, it has half the amount of hair, but you want to know something? It was twice as expensive because they mat all the time and you have to have them groomed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they're wonderful.
Well, this has just been remarkable. So what would you have to say to the dog-loving community at large about what you do and what they can do?
Open your hearts. Open your hearts. There's so much in the world today that we have to worry about. There's nothing like coming home and having a dog kiss you.
It's so true. There's so much out there that's mean and calculated and manipulative, and it's disappointing. So, I mean, what I do is hunker down with people like me, that we think alike, and we would do for each other anything that we can do. That's just have the same integrity. I don't know what as an individual to do about what's happening out there.
I don't know.
And I don't have a dog because I travel so much, but I love dogs and they love me. And I will continue to travel. So it's just not fair.
And if anybody has any questions about any breed, they can call me.
That's wonderful to know. That's wonderful to know. And I'm going to put lots of pictures at the end of this so that people can scroll through and see them. But this has been a wonderful conversation about a lot of things, not just dogs. I know it. This is great.
I hope we can continue to be friends.
We will do. We will. We absolutely will. Thanks for joining me on Love and Money with Barbara Treadwell. I hope today's conversation gave you something to think about as you navigate your own financial and personal journey. You can also visit barbaratreadwell.com to learn more about my work and connect with me. See you on the next episode.
The views expressed in this podcast are not necessarily the opinions of Barbara Treadwell, LLC, and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities or services mentioned herein. Unless otherwise specified, show guests are not securities licensed or affiliated with Barbara Treadwell, LLC, or Osaic Wealth. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should only be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.